Now, Storm Tracker 9 weather with meteorologist Cameron Landfield.
Good morning, everybody, and I've forgotten to say this up until this point. Happy Pi Day. I didn't even realize it was Pi Day. 3.14. Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the weather for today because it's going to be interesting, and the next several days are super interesting too. Of course, our 3 live cameras right now are showing active rainfall everywhere, or at least you can clearly see it in Eugene, but it's happening everywhere. We're in the upper 30s at the moment too, but there are still chances for snowfall for the next 2, maybe 3 hours, and then we're going to be just completely wet the rest of the day. So this is going to be our current weather maker, and it is just another storm system. Of course, that rotation shows you that it's got low pressure in it. But the thing that's sort of peculiar about today is the shape that we're seeing. Usually we see a big capital U, and that comes from the left and moves to the right. But now the apex, or the bottom point of that U, is stretching out and moving out towards the east, which means it's elongating and tilting. And that tilting does bring us a little bit different conditions. It makes things slightly more intense based on just the energy built up in that system. So it's going to scoop down from the south and move up towards the north the entire day, and that's why we're so active and already seeing that activity. 6:30, about 10-15 minutes ago, is matching up very well to the stormcast. I want to point out these pink and blue regions, again, are where I'm suspecting we'll see some snowflakes. It's cold enough along the entire column of air to potentially freeze. Now, moving from 6:30 into 7 o'clock, still looking pretty prominent up towards the north and south, but there's a little drying towards Roseburg. And clicking forward into 8:30, another wave of rainfall comes through and fills in that dry gap, still potentially seeing that snowfall, especially for Roseburg. As we get into 9:30, that's sort of when the snowfall chances start to fizzle out and we look at showers the remainder of the day. Do want to point out, though, the snow doesn't stop in the mountains. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Continuing through the rest of the day here, we've got on and off showers. They could be potentially heavy as well, like this cell we see here down towards Roseburg. I don't think we're unstable enough to see any potential hail or thunder for today, but still there could be some downpours embedded in these showers. Again, 5:30, another big hit for Roseburg down there. And then the rainfall continues through the evening, but it actually gets a lot lighter as we get into the late evening. We'll probably be dry for the early morning again tomorrow before another system comes through. Here's the total rainfall values for today, and on average they're about 0.5. Of course, Coos Bay and Oak Ridge are going to be our outliers for today, getting close to an inch. Now, I've been waiting to show this for a while. This is the snowfall for today. So we're looking at about 9.3 inches in Santiam Pass. That's just through this evening. But I want to remind everybody to not go through the passes over the next 2 days, maybe even 3 days, because I'm going to extend out our snowfall accumulation through Sunday evening. Check this out. It's crazy. 65 inches out over Santiam Pass from right now all the way through Sunday evening, and then it continues to drop on Monday too. It does get a little bit less intense though as we move into Monday. So this is why I'm telling everybody, just stay out of the passes. I know our winter weather advisories do come to a close in some areas tomorrow morning, evening, but if you're going to go in the high elevations, it's going to be snowy, and that snow is going to be blowing. It's going to be hard to pass. Check in with ODOT, but like I've got up here, I would suggest that you just stay out of that area altogether because it's going to be dangerous out there and hard to avoid. The good news is if you look at the 7-day forecast, Tuesday and Wednesday are going to dry out. That's going to be the case for the mountains too. So if you do want to get out to that way, there is still going to be a little bit of a gap where you can go over towards the east as we move into early next week. 7-day forecast shows you 4 more days of rainfall on the coast. We do heat up on Tuesday with that little drying zone, and then rainfall starts up Thursday again. That's the case everywhere. Same thing for the Umpqua Basin, 56 for Tuesday. Cascade Passes, like I've been talking about, are very snowy all the way through. Particularly Sunday is going to be super heavy snowfall. Then you do have your chance Tuesday, Wednesday, where things are a little bit lighter before more snowfall comes in Thursday again, and likely heavy again too. Willamette Valley has the same pattern as everybody else, except we will pick up a little bit of fog on Tuesday instead of just being sunny.